How do? It's time to make this look a little bit more prettier, but more importantly, get some sounds out of it. Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to King Bespoke Creations. Yes, today is the final video in this Archtop build series. It's very exciting. So it's going to be putting some finish on. We're going to be putting oil on here and then wiring it all up, putting some strings on and making some sound with a little bit of a demo towards the end of this video. One little side note, there's some new colours available, so go and check out my little merch store, and if you can support me, I will love you forever. Let's start with the build, shall we? Right, so we're sanded down to 320, which is more than enough. We don't want to go any further than that before putting oil on, otherwise it doesn't seep in as much. Danish oil, I like Danish oil. Try a couple of brands to see which ones you like. I like this. This is Bird brand. And I get it from one of my local shops, but I've run out of that, so I got some Rustin's stuff, which isn't as good. Danish oil isn't a guaranteed set of ingredients. Different companies will use different ingredients in different amounts to make the oil. It's not a natural product, but it's dead easy to put on. I find this one smells quite a lot, and it gets really sticky while you're working it. I'll leave a link for this stuff in the description because this doesn't smell very bad at all. It's really nice to put on and gives a lovely finish. Now this gives a lovely finish too, but it's just not as nice to work with. Now I like to put the first coat of Danish oil on and rub it in with some sandpaper. 600 grit sandpaper. Spread it around using that. And what that does is it almost creates a paste while you put it in with the sandpaper, filling gaps, almost like using a grain filler. And it just goes on so nicely. Always be careful where you put your bottle. The number of times I've knocked it over. Once you've done that and we've put that in, you'll find that it won't soak any more up, and as you start rubbing, instead of it being loose, it starts to drag a little bit. Leave that for 10-15 minutes and then come back and check it. It wants to be quite tacky when we then buff the rest of that off. Certainly don't want to leave it like that, but there's no point rubbing off the excess now because it hasn't actually started to really soak into the wood yet. And while we're waiting for the front to sort itself out, I'm going to go around the edge. I'm not going to use sandpaper on this because I don't want to wear away that pyrography. And yes, I will even put some on the fretboard just to really pop those colours out. It's not like putting a varnish or a lacquer on the fretboard. It doesn't give the same feel, but it certainly looks really nice. So now this leading edge, this top is ready for buffing. It's quite tacky, it drags when you put your finger across it. And I'm using quite a bit of pressure, just really buffing off the excess. You can see there where the paste that it's made using the sandpaper. Right, so that's the entire guitar with 1 coat of Danish oil so far. I'll probably put another 2 on just to really make sure everything's even. It won't really give it any more shine, but what it does is even things out, so it's not got a drier patch and a nicely filled patch and everything else. It looks a lot more coherent. So I'll sort that out and then I'll meet you for the next bit. Right, time to talk about pickups, and I've had a bit of a revelation, a bit of a change of mind. If you've been following this build, you'll know that the plan all along was to have a piezo pickup under the bridge to amplify that lovely acoustic sound, and then to put a humbucker about halfway between the bridge and the neck to kind of blend in, and then have 2 volume pots on the edge here so that you can blend and swoosh between the 2 sounds, which was all in here. I never actually drew it down to see how it really looks, and the more I put things on here, the more I didn't really like it. So we have the bridge, which is quite substantial in looks as it is, which is going to sit somewhere around there. We have the rose petal tailpiece, which is going to go there and looks really nice, and I really like the look of that. The other option was then to put this humbucker in, and I got a gold one to match up with the gold tuners that are going in the top and the gold frets that are on there. I thought it would look a bit blingy, so that would sit in the middle, and I'd make a surround out of the same material as this. But the more I looked at it, the more it then just got a bit crowded, and it just looked a bit, well, didn't look quite right. So I kind of ummed and ahed for a long time and decided, for now at least, I'm not going to put the humbucker in. So I've got this set of piezo pickups. This is a trio of piezo pickups in here that are already soldered up to a jack, which is very nice, but I need to put a volume pot in the middle of there. I'm not going to bother with a tone pot. This is a moon set. If you ever watch Guns and Guitars, you'll know Dan highly recommends a lot of the moon products, especially the little mini pedals and things like that. Dead cheap, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So we'll get this stuck on and wired in. I'm still going to have the volume pot attached round here. I don't want it on the front at all. I think that looks horrible. So I'm still going to have that roller effect volume knob around the side. So let's crack on and make that. This is what we've got. So it was going to be, like I said, 2 volume pots that would have on there, and you just have the little roller poking out from that side. So that was going to be the plan. Now it's just going to be 1 volume pot with a roller on, and I'm going to have the jack socket come out of here as well, so that when you take this off the guitar, you've got full access to everything that's inside, no extra holes anywhere else. So I now need to make one of these discs that I can screw or put onto the top of the volume pot, and that's going to work, cutting a hole through there to use as a roller. Right, back to the bandsaw I think for this one. Right, so can we now see exactly what's going on? So we've got the pot. That's going to go through there as if this small section of wood was normally the guitar body. So that would get screwed down on there like that. So that attaches like that. Now that then gets attached to this, okay? And the dial will slot on the top of there, poking out of there just a little bit, giving us a nice volume control. So the next thing is to fit this section to this section, which means a little recess in here, and we'll glue that in so that's nice and solid. And then we can cut holes through, make sure it fits nice, and then we get to wire things up. Yep, lovely, lovely, lovely. With this in place, I've then marked off the hole that needs to happen for that disc. So it is slightly smaller on the outside than it is on the inside, but with it being round and all. So that's the next task, is to chop that hole out to make sure that this can then fit in there. Put it all together. Right, so I now need to stick in these 3 piezo discs. They're all wired into one cable at the other end. Trouble is, my hands are too fat to get all the way in there and delicately put these in the right place. So I have a cunning plan. A thin strip off-cut, which is probably from the fretboard, to be honest. I'm going to masking tape and super glue to the backs of these in the right places. And then when we peel the stickers off there, we should be able to put that through, plonk it down, and everything should fit just perfectly. So there we go, nicely stuck in place. Now then, also with this set, it came with a little square plastic thing like that sticks on the inside that you can loop your wire through, and then the wires can just come out to your jack and volume pots that are here. So that's quite a useful thing. Right, time for some soldering. I don't think you should watch this bit. It's not going to be pretty. Yes, even with just one pickup, one volume, one jack, I was still referring to a diagram. But there we go, it's on. It's not the neatest, it is not my forte. Do you know what? I really wish that the wiring could be done with pieces of dowling and wood glue. That would make my life so much easier. And then it was time to string things up. Now, in the Use What You've Got challenge, which is what's going on with this whole guitar and a massive series, I'll put a load of links in the description for other builders that are doing a Use What You've Got challenge that we're all kind of finishing off before Great Guitar Build Off. I've got a load of Ernie Ball 10s that I'm going to use for now. I'll probably change that in future, but they'll do for now for stringing up and making some sound and see if it works. Well, it's a good job you don't need to watch anybody string a guitar up. I'm sure you've seen that before. Blooming batteries. Right, it's done. Right, expectations. What was I thinking this might sound like? I thought it would probably be a little bit quiet. I thought it might sound a bit high-pitched because the wood's a little bit thicker than maybe a proper guitar. That's a bad phrase, isn't it? Of course it's a proper guitar. What does it sound like? It rings on and on and on. I've strummed a few chords, and when you let them ring out, it's almost like it's got its own tremolo. You can hear the resonance inside the guitar, which puts a tingle down the back of my spine. It's quite amazing. So not in tune, but it sounds like a guitar. Nice, with a pick. Playing more than anything else, but it sounds like a guitar. It's amazing. Like quick test of the pickups inside as well. Very, very nice. And if you ever need to do your own little dream sequence, it does that. Things to keep us entertained. Well, I can't believe we've actually got this finished. I've been wanting to make this guitar for about 3 years. I actually found the receipt for the truss rod that's in here that was for 2018. We get there in the end, right? I don't have as long to get the next guitar done. That's the Great Guitar Build Off 2021. It's coming soon. Make sure you click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because it's going to be epic. Lots of thick relief carving, all made with hand tools only, nothing electrical in that build at all. And a little sneak preview for you lot, this pyrography is only the beginning. There's going to be a big chunk of pyro on that next build. Shh. Until then, go and sharpen your tools, and I'll see you soon. God bless.